Looking for isekai anime where overpowered MCs collect waifus like Pokemon cards? I've got the ultimate list of harem adventures that'll make you question your life choices while binge watching until 3 a.m. anyway. Kicking off with number 10, Jido Hanbaiki ni Umarekawata, or Omeki Wasamayu's second season. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Our boy literally got reincarnated as a vending machine. I mean, we've had slimes, spiders and swords, but Japan really said, hold my sake, and made a romance story about a drink dispenser. The second season cranks up the absurdity as our metallic protagonist somehow becomes the most sought-after bachelor in the dungeon. Watching monster girls fall for a guy who dispenses energy drinks is peak isekai energy, and honestly, the romance is surprisingly wholesome. Sure, the premise sounds like a fever dream, but the execution is so sincere that you'll find yourself rooting for Team Vending Machine. Plus, the overpowered mechanics are genuinely creative. Nothing says broken like unlimited inventory space and magical beverage buffs. This is Emavis Anime. Watch this video to the end and hit that subscribe button now. Sliding to number 9, I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach the dungeon depths. Teacher-student dynamics in anime can go very wrong very fast, but this one actually nails the wholesome mentor vibe without being creepy about it. Our MC is basically the ultimate dungeon sensei who left his elite party because his former students needed him more. The harem aspect develops naturally as these grown women realise their old teacher is now an absolute unit who could probably solo the final boss while grading papers. What makes this work is that everyone's an adult with actual character development beyond "notice me, sensei." The overpowered element comes from years of experience rather than random cheat skills, which feels refreshingly earned. It's like watching a retired pro gamer come back to carry his friends through raids, except with more romantic tension and dungeon crawling. Landing on number 8, the daily life of a middle-aged online shopper in another world. Finally, an isekai protagonist who represents the true demographic watching these shows. Middle-aged guys who spend too much money online. Our MC gets transported with his credit card intact and basically becomes Amazon Prime incarnate in a fantasy world. The harem forms around his ability to summon modern conveniences, which is, honestly, the most realistic reason anyone would fall for an isekai protagonist. Need a hair straightener? He's got you covered. Want some instant ramen? Boom, delivered. The overpowered aspect isn't flashy magic, it's economic disruption. He's basically introducing capitalism to feudalism, and somehow that's more broken than any legendary sword. Plus, watching fantasy characters discover the joy of online shopping addiction is surprisingly relatable content. Looking at number 7, I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try mastering magic. My family's broke, might as well become a wizard. Is probably the most reasonable isekai motivation we've gotten in years. This guy faces financial ruin and decides his best bet is to speedrun becoming the most overpowered mage in existence. The harem naturally gravitates toward him because nothing's more attractive than a man who can pay his bills and cast meteor spells. What's refreshing is that the romance feels like actual partnerships. These women aren't just there to fawn over him, they're helping rebuild his territory while he's busy becoming magical Jeff Bezos. The magic system is surprisingly detailed, and watching someone min-max their way out of bankruptcy is oddly satisfying. It's like playing a management sim where the main mechanic is get good at magic or go homeless. Moving to number 6, the shy hero and the assassin princesses. Introverted protagonist meets literal assassin waifus. It's like someone took social anxiety and said, let's make this an action series. Our MC is overpowered but too shy to actually use his abilities properly, which creates this hilarious dynamic where deadly assassin girls have to basically be his emotional support system. The harem aspect works because each princess has to slowly break through his social barriers, turning typical isekai dynamics on their head. Instead of the usual dense protagonist doesn't notice obvious signs, we get shy protagonist notices everything but is too anxious to act. The action scenes are genuinely cool when he finally gets going, and the romance development feels more genuine because it's built on actual emotional growth. Plus, watching assassins try to navigate their boyfriend's social anxiety is unexpectedly wholesome content. Hitting number 5, the unaware atelier master. This guy is so overpowered that he doesn't even realize he's breaking the world's economy with his casual crafting skills. He thinks he's just making basic potions and gear, but he's actually creating legendary artifacts that make other adventurers weep with envy. The harem develops because everyone who meets him realizes they're dealing with a crafting god who genuinely thinks he's mediocre. It's like watching a master chef think his 5-star meals are just okay. The comedy comes from his complete obliviousness to his own abilities, while everyone else treats him like the second coming of the item creation deity. The romance is surprisingly sweet because these women fall for his humble personality rather than just his overpowered skills, even though those skills could probably solve world hunger. Reaching number 4, Yandere Dark Elf. She chased me all the way from another world. When your stalker follows you across dimensional barriers, you know you've made an impression. This reverse isekai scenario has a yandere dark elf pursuing our protagonist back to modern Japan, which creates the most unhinged culture clash comedy you'll see this year. The MC is overpowered, but spends most of his time trying to explain modern society to a fantasy assassin who thinks microwaves are magical artifacts. The harem expands as more fantasy girls find their way to Earth, turning his apartment into the world's most dangerous international exchange program. What makes this work is that the yandere isn't just psychotic, she's genuinely caring in her own terrifying way. It's like having a bodyguard who might also murder anyone who looks at you sideways, which is honestly the dream for some people. Climbing to number 3, I'm a behemoth, an S-ranked monster, but mistaken for a cat, I live as an elf girl's pet. The ultimate Gatmo, a creature capable of destroying cities, but everyone thinks he's just a really fluffy cat. Our protagonist is literally one of the most dangerous monsters alive, but his human form got stuck looking like an adorable pet. So now he's living the house cat life with an elf girl who has no idea she's cuddling with a walking natural disaster. The harem forms as more people adopt this cat, without realizing they're basically keeping a nuclear weapon as a pet. The comedy gold comes from him trying to help while maintaining his cover, leading to situations where he's secretly solving S-rank crises while pretending to nap. It's the perfect setup for overpowered shenanigans disguised as slice-of-life comedy. Approaching number 2, Conception. Please give birth to my child. This anime really said, subtlety is for cowards, and went full chaos mode with its premise. Our MC gets summoned specifically to create magical children with various fantasy women to save the world, which is basically the most direct harem setup possible. The overpowered element comes from his unique ability to create these magical offspring, making him literally irreplaceable in this world's ecosystem. What's wild is how the show somehow makes this ridiculous premise work through genuine character development and world building. Each woman has actual motivations beyond just wanting magical babies, and the MC grows from confused teenager to responsible parent figure. It's the kind of anime that sounds terrible on paper, but somehow delivers emotional moments between the absolute insanity. And claiming number 1, Shining Tears X Wind, the crown jewel of wait, this actually exists? Anime. This crossover brings together multiple game universes in the most gloriously confusing way possible, creating a harem so large it requires a spreadsheet to track. Our MC isn't just overpowered, he's the chosen hero of multiple realities simultaneously, which is the kind of power scaling that makes Dragon Ball look modest. The harem includes characters from different franchises, creating the ultimate wish fulfillment scenario for fans of the Source games. What pushes this to number 1 is the sheer audacity of its existence. Someone looked at the concept of dimensional crossing and said, let's make this about collecting waifus from different video games. It's peak Isekai Harem energy distilled into pure, unfiltered chaos that somehow works. There's your definitive ranking of overpowered Isekai Harem insanity. Which dimensional disaster caught your eye? Drop your favourite broken protagonist in the comments, smash that like button for more anime chaos, and subscribe for weekly doses of weeb culture analysis.